you got the Young Bucks messing up the buckshot lariat to send a shot at CM Punk. He doesn't bring any of that up in this video. If we gonna be fair, let's keep the same energy for everybody. Keep the same energy for everybody. And when I say that, I'm talking to dudes like this. This shit is nasty, bro.
5 days ago, when CM Punk got fired, I made a video talking about it. This video was made in the moment, mere 15 minutes after I found out that CM Punk got fired. It was more reaction than anything. A YouTuber did a reaction to my video, and it's on YouTube right now. In that video, he insinuated that I was lying and being disingenuous, which I didn't like because I wasn't lying at all in my video. I did a live stream last night, which you guys can watch, where I watched some of his video, broke down every counterpoint he had and why I stood by my points. And in the end, he admitted that I cooked him. He admitted to defeat. I said, tell me when I'm telling lies. Since that video, during that video, and even before that video, I've had many comments and many DMs about people saying that I am not tackling the whole issue, that I'm pro-elite or I'm anti-CM Punk, that I'm leaving out information in the story that makes CM Punk look bad. I'm going to go on record and say this. If there was information that was left out, which there were 2 pieces that were left out, it was unintentional. I merely forgot that it happened. The way that bro in the very beginning of his video said,
calling out Hangman Adam Page. If he's referring to the return promo, maybe he was referring to Adam Page, but he never said Adam Page's name he's never said him by name.
To which I responded with a receipt.
Hangman Adam Page?
If you forgot, then I should get the same benefit of the doubt that I forgot. There were 1 or 2 things that I forgot, and I'm going to bring it up in this video so you can't say I'm being biased. And this is probably the last video I do on it because I've done like 5 videos now. It's getting a little over the top. You don't believe it? Whatever. In this video, we're going to be talking about the Elite Conspiracy Saga, which we will talk about every single factual event that happened with the Elite and started with the Elite. I must preference that I will mainly be talking about factual events, not what you believe to be the truth. A fact is what actually happened, and the truth is what you believe actually happened, which is something that CM Punk went off a lot in this story. And I will bring those up when it's intertwined with the factual events of the Elite. But again, this video is going to be discussing the events that involved them and the role they played. So let's get into it. This entire CM Punk and Elite drama starts with this segment between Hangman Page and CM Punk. It should be noted that in the ESPN interview conducted with CM Punk in June of this year, CM Punk stated that in his mind, the division started sometime in the spring of 2022. By his own words, there were no issues between the Elite and himself before this segment. Nor did anyone ever report on them having issues before that segment. Because CM Punk said it himself, Hangman Page has not disproven this, nobody has disproven this, we can take this as a fact that this is where it started. CM Punk specifically took issue with this line from the Hangman Page promo.
You talk a big game about workers' rights, yeah? Well, you've shown the exact opposite since you've gotten here.
According to CM Punk, he confronted Hangman Page backstage after the segment, to which Hangman Page said the workers' rights line was about Colt Cabana, and that Page believed that CM Punk got him fired from AEW, which Punk dispelled and told Page that he still worked for AEW. Now, if that is the truth and it actually happened, then that should have been the end of it. CM Punk addresses Hangman Page personally backstage. Page says why he did it. CM Punk dispels why he did it. They go their separate ways. But that's what's believed to be the truth. What's a fact is that Hangman Page cut a promo that CM Punk did not like. Hangman Page going off script on CM Punk should not have happened. If CM Punk was upset about that, then he absolutely had every right to be, and Hangman Page is in the wrong. It all starts with him. However, this is where it ends for Hangman Page, because Hangman Page does not ever mention CM Punk on television ever again after that promo. He does not talk about CM Punk on social media, nor are there any reports about there being any physical confrontation between the two men. So he started it, absolutely. And he is no more to blame beyond this point. CM Punk is allowed to have an issue with what Hangman Page said about him. If Hangman Page never approaches CM Punk again, and CM Punk keeps bringing him up, and Hangman Page never engages, that's not his fault. That's on CM Punk. CM Punk brought Hangman Page up 3 times after that incident, to which Hangman Page never responded. May not want to hear it, but though he started this, he was the most mature person coming out of this whole drama. Moving on from Hangman Page, let's now talk about the Elite. Nick Jackson, Matt Jackson, and Kenny Omega, who are the executive vice presidents of All Elite Wrestling. I see people all the time saying you have to hold the Elite accountable for the role they play. And they do play a role, and I do hold them accountable. But I also see people saying that CM Punk never started anything. And while it's true that Hangman Page started the drama with CM Punk, there is no proof, no evidence to surround that the Elite started drama with CM Punk. You can't say Being the Elite because that is a comedy series made up by Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, to which they never call out CM Punk by name. And if CM Punk had any issue with any nuance they did on Being the Elite, then CM Punk had various opportunities to bring this up, and he never did. There's not one interview, one article, one TV segment, one non-TV segment where CM Punk brings up anything the Elite said about him or nuanced about him on Being the Elite. And if you don't express there's a problem, then there is no problem. So let's go to the AEW All Out Media Scrum and see what CM Punk had to say.
The fact that I have to sit up here because we have irresponsible people who call themselves EVPs and couldn't fucking manage a target, and they spread lies and bullshit and put into a media that I got somebody fired.
Fact that I have to sit up here because we have irresponsible people that call themselves EVPs. Let's not play semantics here. He wasn't talking about the EVP of Walmart. He wasn't talking about the EVP of McDonald's. Well, it's not a fact that he named them specifically Matt Jackson and Kenny Omega. They are the only executive vice presidents of All Elite Wrestling. And like I said previously, if he was not referring to them, he had multiple opportunities to dispel this, which he didn't. This message was delivered to the intended recipients. And they spread lies and bullshit and put into a media that I got somebody fired. CM Punk claims that the Elite are spreading rumors about him getting somebody fired. That somebody being Colt Cabana. Remember, we only have CM Punk's word to base off the fact that Hangman Page was referring to Colt Cabana when he said workers' rights. And in the same way CM Punk can't prove that Hangman Page was referring to Colt Cabana, he has no proof to present that the Elite were spreading lies about him. I dare anybody in this comment section right now to pull up an article that proves that the Elite were spreading lies about CM Punk. And if the only proof you have is that they were leaking information to the dirt sheets, the journalists, then provide proof that the Elite were leaking information to the dirt sheets. Which you won't, because that's not a fact, that's what CM Punk believes to be the truth. If you believe CM Punk, that's fine, but don't claim it to be a fact. Because CM Punk hasn't done that himself. Until DMs are leaked, or the journalists come out and say otherwise, which by the way, select journalists have come out and said that the Elite never approached them about those rumors. If you can't prove it, it's a baseless claim. Which means CM Punk started a fight over a baseless claim. And if you don't believe CM Punk started the fight, here's some more proof.
And I will still walk up and down this hallway and say, if you have a fucking problem with me, take it up with me. Let's fucking go.
After he just verbally harassed his coworkers in a public setting, he then went on to instigate the fight by saying, if you have a problem, take it up with me. If you have a problem, take it up with me is a challenge. A challenge that they accepted, which led into the fight. Now let's get two things clear. This was absolutely poor judgment on the Elite's end to confront CM Punk at this time. And I believe they should have been stripped of their EVP titles after this incident. But they weren't. That's not up to me. CM Punk then went on to claim Castle Doctrine, that he was allowed to start a physical altercation with his bosses because he was just protecting himself. However, in the court of law, this really only ever applies when you're at home. A castle or home. They didn't break into CM Punk's house. They broke in or entered, depending on the story you believe, a locker room that CM Punk occupied. CM Punk was a talent of AEW. The Elites were technically his bosses. As executive vice presidents, AEW is their property. You can call it your locker room. You can slap the word CM Punk on the locker room door. And unless word comes out that CM Punk was also an executive vice president, the locker room belongs to All Elite Wrestling. And the EVPs of All Elite Wrestling are the Elite. Which means they have the right to enter in whatever room they want at whatever time they choose. And since you called them out, you should not be shocked that they approached you at your locker room. Again, poor judgment on their end. And the legal officer was there to witness the whole thing, and somehow they did not lose their jobs. And we need to start questioning the validity of the claim. The fact is that CM Punk called out his bosses on a public forum based off of what he believed to be the truth. CM Punk believes that the Elites were feeding rumors to the dirt sheets. CM Punk believes that lies were being spread about him by the Elite. These are all beliefs. Could it have been entirely possible that the Elite were talking to the dirt sheets, were spreading rumors and lies about CM Punk. Absolutely. I 100% can believe that. But there are no leaked DMs, no audio, no video, no evidence to provide the claim that they're out to get you, then that's all it is, a claim. CM Punk went on a public forum and claimed that the Elite were spreading lies about him, and put out a challenge that if anybody has a problem with him, to take it up with him. Obviously, someone's going to have a problem with you dragging their reputation through the dirt. So they went to his locker room. And I will say this for a final time. There was a time and place to do it. This was not the time nor the place. If they never approached CM Punk's locker room door and a fight broke out anyway, oh yeah, CM Punk would have got fired on the spot and they would not be in the wrong at all. Well, now you're just poking the bear. Not to get what they did confused with retaliation, because retaliation only quantifies when you make a formal complaint, which CM Punk did not do. He made an informal public complaint, which if he had any basis to go to human resources about retaliation against what he had to say, he doesn't have it anymore. Because now you have a harassment claim against you. Which honestly, that's where CM Punk really fucked up. Elite did poke the bear, but CM Punk did not react in the formal professional way, which is why he does not get the benefit of the doubt. Since we already stated that the Elites are allowed to enter in CM Punk's locker room because they're the Elites and they are the executive vice presidents and they own that locker room, then we get into he say, she say. They kick down the door? Did they break down the door? Did they shoulder the door? Did they open the door? If they kick down the door, then yes, they should be fired. Because now CM Punk can claim he felt his life was in danger. But the thing is, CM Punk's side softened on the claims that the Young Bucks kicked down the door. First the claim was, yeah, they kicked down the door to get into the locker room. Then the claim became, well, maybe they shouldered the door. Maybe they tried to get in a bit aggressively. Once you start changing up the story, you lose me. Now I can't believe that they entered in the room aggressively because now you've went back on your word. If you saw it with your own two eyes, with 100% certainty, you should say they kicked down the door. But if a kick turns into a shoulder, then I'm sorry, but I find your claim hard to believe now. Now, the story all across the board was that CM Punk threw the first punch. CM Punk is only liable to throw the first punch if the Elite kicked down the door and posed a threat. But since you changed your story, now the only fact is that they entered the room. So if they enter the room and you throw the first punch, you lose. That's it. You lost. What rumors they spread does not matter. Them entering a locker room that he occupied does not matter. As soon as they enter the vicinity, if they don't pose an imminent threat, which we don't know because we weren't there, but eyewitness accounts didn't say anything about an imminent threat being there. So you throwing the first punch now means that you assaulted them. You're the aggressor. Doesn't matter how angry you are. Doesn't matter what was said about you. You attack first, you're liable. At this point now, the Elites are fighting in self-defense, not CM Punk. Because they fought in self-defense, that's likely the reason why they kept their jobs. Many will argue both parties should have been fired. I don't believe the Elite should have been fired unless they threw the first punch at CM Punk, which eyewitness accounts say otherwise. Now we fast forward to November of that year. CM Punk is still injured and the Elite have returned from their suspension. In their first match back in Chicago, Kenny Omega bites Pac on the arm, Matt Jackson flops a buckshot lariat spot, and Kenny Omega hits a go-to-sleep. These are all moves that at one point in time were executed by CM Punk. The truth is they were taking shots at CM Punk, but the fact is that they were doing wrestling spots in a wrestling match. Moves that CM Punk also does. They could have chalked the whole thing up as a coincidence. And obviously they didn't dispel these claims, so that's what we're led to believe. Were they in the wrong for taking shots at CM Punk? Absolutely. However, if we're going to claim that it was fine for CM Punk to give a receipt to Hangman Page,
Hangman Adam Page? That's not cowboy shit, that's coward shit. The apology must be as loud and as public as the disrespect.
if that was fine, then this is fine. Either all of it's okay or none of it's okay. Choose one, because you can't sit on both sides of the fence. And that is where the Elite saga ends. Because neither Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, Matt Jackson, or Nick Jackson bring up CM Punk in any type of way after that point. They steer clear of CM Punk, and when Punk makes attempts to bury the hatchet, they say no. A lot of people claim that's childish, they should have buried the hatchet. And I agree, I think the Elite should have walked into a room with CM Punk, had a conversation, and buried the hatchet. They don't owe CM Punk a damn thing as their coworker. But as an executive vice president, you should be willing to hear your employee out. But if the claim is true that lawyers are involved in the reason why this never happened, then you can't put all the blame on the Elite as to why that didn't happen. They were just following legal instructions. Let's finally move on to Jack Perry, the straw that broke the camel's back. This report goes all the way back to August 15th. Reported by Fightful, it says an argument took place near the start of AEW Collision between CM Punk and Jack Perry over an issue that many took with a planned spot of Perry's where he wanted to use real glass for a backstage segment. Now, at the end of the day, we don't know any of that to be true. I'm not saying it wasn't true, but there were so many conflicting reports about what Perry's side said and what Punk's side said and who said this and Tony Schiavone. There were so many names being thrown around, it's too hard to follow. You have to believe one side over the other. But let's just say that CM Punk did advise Jack Perry to not use glass. He was just looking out for Jack Perry. That's cool. That's a good thing for a veteran to do. But at the end of the day, if Jack Perry gets the okay from management to use glass, it doesn't matter if CM Punk wants him to use glass or not, Jack Perry can use real glass. Is it dumb? Absolutely. Is it a dangerous health? Absolutely. Should he be doing it? Absolutely not. But is CM Punk Jack Perry's coworker or is he his boss? Because if he's just his coworker, then he has no authority to tell Jack Perry what he can and can't do. If management does not want Jack Perry to use glass, that is management's job to conduct that to Jack Perry, not CM Punk's. If management told CM Punk to tell Jack Perry that, then management's in the wrong. And management needs to be held accountable. And management needs to do better. But if they didn't and CM Punk took it upon himself, then who is CM Punk to say that? Veteran or not, if you're not management, don't tell me what I can and can't do. And that would apply to anybody at any job. Guarantee you. Let's now move on to this. Jack Perry using real glass against Hook. Before this spot happened, this is what Jack Perry had to say.
Jack Perry this is right here? And then crushing real glass. Crushing the abdomen. Go cry me a river.
Jack Perry makes a statement that he's using real glass and to go cry him a river. Now, much like CM Punk at the AEW media scrum, he didn't say a name. Whereas CM Punk narrowed down who he was talking to by saying EVPs, which distinctly points to people in the company who are executive vice presidents. Jack Perry didn't distinguish anybody. So anybody who had a problem with this, he could have been referring to them. So therein lies the first issue with CM Punk's actions. That Jack Perry could easily claim he wasn't talking about CM Punk. He could have been talking about Tony Schiavone. We're going to say, for the sake of this, we're going to say that he was talking about CM Punk. As your preference by saying, we weren't backstage, we don't know what happened. But if eyewitness reports are to be believed, CM Punk walked up to Jack Perry after his match and said, do we have a problem? Technically, that's not inciting a fight. Punk brought up the line. Punk says, you know I could fuck you up at any time, right? Now, not only are you instigating a fight, but you're making a threat. Then he acted upon the threat by pie-facing him, throwing punches, and trying to lock in a guillotine choke. Should Jack Perry have said exactly what he said on TV? No. Jack Perry should not have been making any snide comments that could get under anybody's skin. So in that right, he got suspended. And rightfully so. But once CM Punk walks backstage, confronts him, threatens him, then punches him in the face, now the story becomes CM Punk assaulted his coworker. And at this point, CM Punk has assaulted 4 of his coworkers, off of claims he has yet to prove. Let me go through this one more time. Hangman Page is wrong for calling him out. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks are wrong for confronting CM Punk while he was angry and aggravated. And Jack Perry was wrong for making publicly snide comments that could come across as him coming at CM Punk. Hangman Page did not get suspended because he stopped right after CM Punk had an issue with it. The Elite got suspended for their roles, and Jack Perry got suspended for his role. CM Punk got fired because every single occurrence involved him. And every single occurrence involved him throwing the first punch. The famous quote goes, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. These guys poked the bear, absolutely. And if CM Punk were to respond the diplomatic way, all 5 men would have received their punishments and CM Punk wouldn't have gotten anything at all. But instead, CM Punk responded with violence every single time. And then claims that the Elite are the problem. They're my favorite wrestler, but it sounds like the call is coming from inside the house.